There's something different about you. Maybe you've always felt it. That quiet power, that unshakable energy that doesn't scream for attention, but still commands it. You walk into a room and people can feel your presence before you speak. Some admire it, some fear it, but none can ignore it. This isn't arrogance, it's not ego, it's something far deeper. Your aura. And when your aura is powerful, you're not like everyone else. You operate on a different frequency. You feel more, you see more, you know who you are, even when the world doesn't understand you. In a society obsessed with surface-level validation and noise, a man with a strong aura moves in silence and speaks with weight. He doesn't follow trends, he follows truth. And people can sense that. It's not about looks, status, or followers. It's about your energy, your presence, and the way you carry your soul. In this video, we'll uncover the 5 unmistakable signs that your aura is powerful, and why this means you're not here to blend in, but to stand out with purpose. We'll draw from real-life stories, daily life wisdom, and ancient Asian teachings that reveal the quiet force behind true power. This isn't just about self-discovery, it's about stepping fully into the man you were born to be. So before we begin, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And drop a comment below. Have you ever felt like you were different? Like you were meant for more? Let's get into it. Chapter 1. You don't chase, you attract. A man with a powerful aura doesn't beg for opportunities, people, or validation. He doesn't chase after attention, he naturally attracts it. And that's the first undeniable sign. There's a stillness in him, a calm confidence. He walks with quiet certainty because he knows who he is. Not in a loud, boastful way, but in a way that makes others stop and notice. While others are busy trying to prove themselves, he's focused on becoming himself. And that's what makes him magnetic. In today's world, most people are constantly trying to be seen. They post non-stop, they talk too much, they force connections that don't feel right. But a man with a powerful aura doesn't move from neediness. He moves from alignment. He's not desperate. He's deliberate. He knows that what's meant for him will find him, not because he's passive, but because he's prepared. When the flower blooms, the bees come uninvited. You don't see the lotus flower chasing the sun or the honeybee. It simply unfolds, slowly, quietly, beautifully. And life is drawn to it. The same is true with your energy. When you invest in your growth, your discipline, and your mindset, the right people and opportunities begin to orbit around you. Not because you forced it, but because your energy made room for it. There was a young man in his late 20s. No fancy car, no expensive clothes. But every time he walked into a cafe, people noticed him. Not because he said much, but because of the way he carried himself. He listened more than he spoke. He dressed sharp, but simple. He greeted the staff with genuine warmth. His presence was intentional, not performative. Within months, he was offered a management position, not because he asked, but because someone watching him believed he had leadership in him. That's the power of attraction over chasing. When your aura is powerful, people feel it. You create gravity. And gravity doesn't move toward things. It pulls things toward it. You don't force outcomes. You prepare yourself so well that outcomes naturally unfold in your favor. This is not about being passive. It's about being patient with your power. You know your value. You move with intention. You trust the process. So if you're someone who finds that people come to you for advice, that strangers open up to you, that you receive opportunities without asking, pay attention. That's not random. That's your aura working. Comment below. I attract, not chase. Chapter 2. You're calm in chaos, while others panic. A man with a powerful aura has something rare: inner stillness. When the world spins out of control, he becomes more focused. While others shout, scramble, or react emotionally, he responds with clarity and strength. That's not weakness, that's mastery. You see, anyone can act composed when life is easy, but your true aura is revealed under pressure. When you walk into a room full of anxiety, conflict, or fear, and your presence brings calm instead of adding fuel, that's real power. You become the anchor in the storm. There's a quote from the Bhagavad Gita, an ancient Indian text, that says, "A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires, who remains undisturbed in happiness and distress, is the one who truly knows peace." This is the essence of the powerful masculine aura. Not being swayed by every wave, but standing like a mountain amid the storm. Let me give you a real example. In the middle of a company crisis, when systems failed and tempers rose, most employees started panicking. One man, quiet, composed, took a breath, stepped up, and gave simple, clear instructions. He didn't raise his voice, he didn't blame anyone, he just focused on solutions. That energy calmed everyone. The issue got resolved faster than expected. Later, a senior executive pulled him aside and said, "That's leadership. That's presence. This is the kind of strength that doesn't need to be announced. When your aura is powerful, people look to you not because you dominate, but because you stabilize. You become the emotional thermostat in every room. Your calm makes others breathe easier. Your steady gaze disarms tension. You don't just enter a space, you center it. And here's the deeper truth. That kind of calm isn't accidental. It's earned through discipline, emotional control, and a daily decision not to be ruled by your feelings. You train your mind to see clearly when others can't. You learn to pause instead of react. That's what separates you. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. This means your ability to rule your emotions is more powerful than ruling any kingdom. A man with a powerful aura doesn't just conquer the outside world, he conquers the battlefield within. If people often turn to you in moments of crisis, if your presence helps others calm down, if you've learned to breathe and observe instead of explode, you're not like everyone else. Comment below, "Calm is my superpower." Chapter 3. You make people reflect on themselves. One of the clearest signs your aura is powerful is this. People feel exposed around you, not because you judge them, but because your presence quietly holds up a mirror. You don't even have to speak. Just by being who you are, people begin to reflect. They reconsider their choices. They rethink their behavior. They start questioning things they used to avoid. Why? Because your energy carries depth, truth, and alignment. This is not something you force. It's not about trying to be intimidating or wise. It's about authenticity. And when you live with integrity, when your actions match your values, people can feel that. And if they're not living in that same alignment, your presence becomes uncomfortable. In a good way. It's like standing in a room with clean, fresh air after being used to smoke for years. Some people love it. They breathe deeper. Others choke a little, not because the air is bad, but because it's different. You are that difference. There's a deep concept in Zen Buddhism called silent teaching. It says that the most powerful lessons don't always come through words, but through energy. A true teacher teaches by being, not preaching. When your aura is powerful, your very presence teaches. It awakens, it disturbs, it inspires. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. A man walks into a group conversation. Everyone is gossiping, complaining, joking without purpose. He listens quietly, doesn't participate. His eyes are calm, his posture is straight. His silence is intentional. Within minutes, the tone of the conversation begins to shift. People feel the energy change. Some stop talking, some redirect the topic. Not because he scolded anyone, but because his presence silently asked, "Is this who you want to be?" That's what a powerful aura does. It changes rooms without changing volume. But this can also be lonely. A man with this kind of presence often finds that not everyone stays around him. Some people feel inspired and draw closer. Others feel insecure and distance themselves. You have to be okay with that. Because when your light shines, it either warms people or reveals their shadows. And not everyone is ready to face those shadows. Asian wisdom reminds us, when the sage walks into a room, the wise become wiser and the foolish become quiet. You don't even have to try to be impactful. Your consistency, your depth, your truth, they speak louder than any speech. This is why self-work matters. This is why solitude is sacred. Because the more you refine your inner world, the more powerful your outer presence becomes. And that power is not about ego, it's about influence, real influence, the kind that moves souls, not just emotions. So if people often say, you make me think, or I feel like I have to step my game up around you, take note, that's not just charisma, that's your aura sharpening iron. Your silence is not empty, your presence is not casual. You carry meaning when people feel it. Comment below. My presence inspires reflection. Chapter 4. You're misunderstood, but unbothered. One of the most powerful signs your aura is different is this. You're often misunderstood, but you're no longer seeking to explain yourself. You've outgrown the need for constant approval. You've accepted that not everyone will get you, and that's okay. Because deep down, you're not living for validation. You're living for truth. A powerful aura confuses shallow minds. People may label you as too serious, too quiet, too intense, or even too cold. But what they don't see is your depth, your thoughtfulness, your inner discipline. What they call intensity is simply focus. What they call distance is simply discernment. You've realized you don't need to force connections anymore. You don't need to water yourself down to be digestible to people who don't even know who they are. Your energy is intentional, and not everyone is meant to have access to it. There's an old Japanese saying, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. And for many men with powerful auras, this has been the story since childhood. You didn't fit in. You questioned things too deeply. You saw through masks. You didn't play the games others were comfortable playing. And because of that, you stood out, and sometimes you suffered for it. But now you understand. You were never meant to blend in. You were built to lead, to protect, to rise. And that kind of calling often comes with seasons of isolation. You see, greatness often begins in silence. Not everyone can hear the frequency you operate on. Not everyone is ready for your vision. And if you try to explain yourself to everyone, you'll drain yourself for people who were never meant to walk your path. You no longer argue with those who misunderstand you. You let your life speak. You let your results speak. You let your peace speak. And that frustrates people who thrive on chaos. But again, that's not your concern. You've grown into a man who values purpose over popularity, authenticity over approval, and solitude over shallow company. And that right there, that's sacred. There was a man who walked away from a six-figure job because it no longer aligned with who he was. People called him foolish, said he was wasting his potential, but he knew what they didn't. He was sacrificing comfort for calling. 2 years later, he built a business, served others, and found peace that money could never give him. The same people who doubted him, they started coming to him for advice. That's the journey of a powerful aura. First, they doubt you, then they distance themselves. Then they admire you when, from a distance, they created. So if you're walking a path that few understand, stay the course. If you're being misunderstood for your silence, your depth, your focus, don't shrink. That's confirmation, not rejection. You're not like everyone else because you're not meant to be. Tigers do not lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. You weren't born to be part of the crowd. You were born to be a standard. Keep rising, keep refining, keep walking, even if you walk alone. Comment below. I'm not for everyone, and that's my power. You see, having a powerful aura isn't about being perfect. It's about being authentic, rooted, and unapologetically aligned with who you truly are. It's about knowing your worth without needing to prove it. It's about walking through life with calm, focus, and quiet strength, no matter who understands you or not. If these signs resonated with you, if you've felt like the world doesn't quite see you for who you are, it's not because something's wrong with you, it's because something real lives inside you. And in a world full of noise, real power is often silent. Your aura is not just energy, it's your story, your scars, your growth, your mindset, your intention, all speaking without a word. So guard it, sharpen it, own it. And remember this, you don't have to be like everyone else, because you were born to be something far greater. If you found value in this video, like it, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more powerful content made for men walking the path with purpose. And before you go, drop a comment below. Which sign hit home for you? Which one made you reflect the most? Stay grounded, stay powerful, and never forget, real strength is quiet until it's needed.